All right, lesson 15 of Alfred's Basic Adult Piano Course Level 1, all in one book. Page 42 and 43. Here's the thing. This is the point where we have now learned how to play with our hands together. You've learned a few chord things, chord symbols, but what we're really doing here is beginning the process of refining your playing and sharpening your skills. So this is the first time that we're getting told how to actually play. So if you look at page 42, it says slurs and legato playing. A slur is a line connecting two or more notes. You can have a slur with two notes. It's not the most common. Normally a slur is going to be over a group of notes or a phrase or a certain part of a passage, and the slur means to play the notes very smoothly and connected, where notes don't have any space like this between them. With a slur, one note starts as the next note finishes, but slurs do not change your speed. So if you were playing a fast song, all those notes are separated. You can hear a little space between each one. But if I had all those same notes at the same speed, but there was a slur over those notes, meaning to play them all smooth and connected, instead of ta 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 ta, it would be la 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 la. Here's unslurred or non-slurred, slurred, unslurred. So that's the goal, is to make everything smooth and connected when you have a slur. Now, you may recognize that the slur looks really similar to a tie, but you cannot slur the same note because it doesn't change. The slur is connecting different notes smoothly. So a slur can always be identified as long as it's not the same note. If it is the same note, then it's a tie. But if it's anything else, then it's a slur. But they do look very similar. So let's take a look at the song. What can I share? It's in 3/4 time. It's 3 beats per measure. Waltz time. Forward side together, back side together. That's the waltz. There's a slur from the first note of the left hand to the last note of that line. And you'll notice they are both E's. So you might think it's a tie. But all these notes in between mean it can't be a tie, because a tie is 2 notes next to each other that are held for the length of both of them put together. This is not at all mean hold all these notes. It means play all of these notes very connected. So this song says moderately slow. There's no repeat. Your left hand is playing the melody. Your right hand is playing the chords. Halfway through they switch. Your right hand gets the melody, left hand gets the chords. Beginning, mezzo forte, medium loud. Halfway through, piano, soft. Now, the other thing here is in the very bottom of the song, it says slower. And what that means is those last 3 left-hand chords are going to slow down and draw out a little bit. This is another example of refining your skills and sharpening your craft, right? These are expressive things that are done to the music that we're starting to get into here. Here, 15 lessons in, you've understood what quarter notes, half notes, whole notes are. You've figured out measures, you've figured out repeats, you've figured out dynamic signs. There's all these individual blocks we had to stack up to make playing the piano. Now that we have playing the piano, we can kind of, work on how we want to play the notes, not just playing the notes. So you should pause this and work on this song, and I will play it for you when we're done. When you unpause it, actually, when we resume playing. Alright, here we go. Moderately slow. What can I share? 3/4 time. 1, 2, 3. There. Alright. Hopefully you noticed that there was no pause between my right hand playing these two chords and starting this melody in the very next measure. I'm going to start here on measure 7, just to show you again what I mean. In the left hand you have the D, right hand the chords. 1, 2, 3. Now you notice I started this loud too because it was mezzo forte. We don't get to piano till here. So this mezzo forte written here still applies. It applies until we have another dynamic marking. And you'll notice I did slow this down and I drew it out. But if you were to count it, you would still count the same. I'm going to play the bottom line again. You still count the same number of beats, but slower. I'll count this out loud when I start doing it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's how you slow it down. Alright, page 43, day is done. Draw a slur over the notes that are played for the second sentence of the lyrics. Play the right hand counting out loud. Play the right hand again, saying or singing the words. Connect the notes of each phrase as smoothly as you can. Add chord symbols in the boxes above the treble clef staff. Play with hands together. Alright, so let's look at this. Right hand plays 2 measures by itself, or in 3/4 times again. Then the right hand plays and the left hand plays the chords. So this is what we've already done before, like the second half of What Can I Share? The right hand was playing the melody, left hand was playing the chords. And the left hand chords are nothing new. This is the G7, that's the C. That's a G7, that's a C. We already know those. So you know that's no problem. So 3/4 time, piano the whole time, no repeat sign, pause it, practice. I just gave you the answers to those, so. Alright, hopefully you paused, practiced. I'm going to play it for you now. It's piano. It doesn't say how fast or slow, but the first line of words says slowly, slowly. So if I played it quickly, that'd probably be counterproductive. Alright. 1, 2, 3. My first G was a little loud. I got a little excited there. Alright, so the exercise on the bottom is identifying slurs versus ties. So if you look here, number 6, there is a C dotted half note. C dotted half note, joined together by a line. Well, since that's a C and that's a C, that's a tie. The next one, that's a C dotted half note, that's an E dotted half note, joined together by a line. Well, C and E aren't the same note, so that can't be a tie. That has to be a slur, meaning play those notes smooth and connected. Well, legato is the word we use for smooth and connected. So it means to play legato. 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 That's what the slur means. So go ahead and pause it and fill all these out, and I will give you the answers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tie, tie, slur, slur, tie, tie, slur, tie. Well, that concludes this lesson of slurs and ties. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you got questions, let me know. Thank you. Take a look at page 42, 43.